today's show.
I like everybody's show.
You got me all wrong.
Oh, I'm gonna share the wrong one.
You know what I always heard? When a person has to pee, they shouldn't pee before they do something because it's supposed to channel like a bunch of energy, but I don't believe that.
You gotta pee?
Yeah.
But
Whatever.
what about if it's the normal?
The normal pee?
Yeah, like you always gotta pee right before we do something.
I do. Plus, it does not help that I drink liquids like every minute of the day.
Well, but what's the
Like
point?
every minute of the day.
What's the point in having kidneys though if you can't drink?
Yeah, well, exactly.
What's the point in having them?
Is that okay? And get my phone. You've got me all wrong.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Shoot the shit out of some gun while you're gone. You don't get chicken?
Oh, I was like on my way to get here. I was on my way to get here, and something's not going. Were you able to share it?
Yeah.
So I was on my way to get here, and I can't share this. I don't understand why it won't share to my page.
I don't know why it won't let you share, but yeah, let me share it on mine. You were on your way to get here and what?
I'll tell you on the air.
Is it bad?
No, just aggravates me. Horse? Post failed.
On yours?
Yeah. That's annoying.
I feel like I'm trying to send him back a demon.
We are Radio LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
Be good over there.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of Lexington Community Radio or its board of directors. The views expressed are solely those of the programmers.
You are listening to Off the Cuff. Now, here's your host, Adam Banks.
Welcome everybody to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks coming at you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for listening to the show and thank you for tuning in to WLXU 93.9 FM. In addition to listening to us on the radio, you can check out our Facebook live stream at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, or you can download the Radio Lex app on your smartphone device to listen to us anywhere in the entire world. Amber Turner and I are both broadcasting from the Deborah Hensley Studios here at Radio Lex on North Limestone. It is Thursday, March the 31st, 2022, the last day of March, 4:01 to be exact. Amber, I love doing this show on Thursdays. It's a great day of the week to do a radio program, but when something as big as what the Oscars was on Sunday night, you wish you had a radio show on the daily.
Yeah, well, like at least an emergency broadcast has been out or something.
When the Academy Awards happened on Sunday, I was so mad because I have to wait 5 days before I talk about what happened.
Yeah, but look at all this you got built.
Well, somebody reached out to me and they said, you know what, I don't care that I have to wait till Thursday because the only opinion that matters is Adam Banks' opinion. And I said, you know what? I like that, and thank you to the fan that said that. So apparently, a lot of people, I'm just going to assume that a lot of people haven't been listening to other people's opinions because the off the cuff of that Adam Banks opinion is what matters.
Well, we know they ain't turning in for mine, so I guess we're all turning in for yours.
The bizarre thing about all of this, Amber, is I was working on the show really on Sunday before the Oscar started. I usually do that on Sunday. I'm like, what are we going to talk about? what are we going to even put down as topics? And the Academy Awards I knew was happening later that day, so I put the 94th Annual Academy Awards as the first topic to talk about. And I was a little worried. I was like, man, the Oscars though, like, what are we going to say besides who won?
Well.
And then I was like, I don't know about opening the show with the Oscars. And then the Oscars happened. And then the Academy Awards happened, and without question, it was the most shocking moment in Oscar history. It's one of the most shocking moments in television history.
Yes.
It was a live event. Amber, you know how live is.
Oh, I know.
It's a different ballgame.
No takesies backsies.
None. So, unless you've been living under a literal rock, Will Smith smacked Chris Rock at the Oscars. He did.
Yeah,
he
he did.
smacked him at the Oscars.
Rocky's world.
So let's start from the beginning. He slapped Chris Rock. Now, a lot of people were wondering, why in the world? What's his beef with Chris Rock? Why did that G.I. Jane joke make him go over the edge? Why did that G.I. Jane joke push Will Smith over the edge? Well, Will, Jada, and Chris Rock, they have a past.
Okay, so there is more to the story.
Yes.
Okay.
The Oscars in 2016, Chris Rock hosted.
Yeah.
In 2016, the Oscars apparently nominated no black artist for their work. Well, Jada Pinkett Smith said all black people should boycott the Oscars.
Yeah.
Well, she went on this big rampage about why black people should boycott the Oscars because it was Oscars so white. That was the hashtag. But Chris Rock was the host, so she was calling on Chris Rock to not host the Oscars out of respect for the black community.
Event ever.
Of his career, yeah.
Of anybody's career.
So Chris Rock went on to host the Oscars that year, and he made a joke about Jada Pinkett and Will Smith at the 2016 Oscars. Take a listen. So light-hearted jokes, right? Light-hearted jokes. If I was there, I would have laughed. I think that's funny.
That was pretty good.
$20 million is a lot of money. You can make fun of somebody for making that kind of money.
Especially when it's Wild Wild West.
Which was a crappy movie, so he wasn't lying about that. So that was years in the making that he made fun of Will Smith at the Oscars. Well, this year, Chris Rock isn't hosting the Oscars. He's just presenting an Oscar. He was actually out there to present the Best Documentary Award.
Yeah.
And when he went out there to host this year, the Oscars, or when he went out there to present the award this year, this is what happened. What? I could not believe it. I was watching that live, and it was muted for about 60 seconds, and it jumped around a little bit, but you could still see Will Smith mouthing those words.
Wow.
Amber, the rage that come out of Will Smith after that second yell, when he said, get my wife's name out of your effing mouth, he said it once, and then he screamed it again.
Oh, yeah.
And after that, when he started the screaming, I said, okay, this 100% isn't fake.
No.
This is a man full of rage. But it makes me wonder, Will, you were the fan favorite to win the Oscar. Everybody knew you was there to win. Why did you destroy the biggest moment in your industry, the biggest moment in your career, to go up there, you risked it all to slap Chris Rock?
to slap Chris Rock, that's the part I don't understand.
Who's 5'8", 135 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah. Like,
And it was a G.I. Jane joke, just like he said. He said, dude, it was a G.I. Jane joke.
yeah, but what about all these other people who have made comments about your wife? I don't see you knuckling up beside a half of them. Like, this was one particular person that made a comment, and it was literally probably the most harmless comment that we've heard about her, over the last 3 years?
G.I. Jane was sexy.
Demi Moore,
Yes,
baby.
Demi Moore.
I'd have been like,
Has people forgot
yes.
that was Demi Moore?
Well, because they just took it as, I guess, an insult towards her. But again, I mean, at the end of the day, that is literally the nicest thing I think somebody has said, over the last 3 years.
Here is what I have to say about it. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the opinion. Here comes the opinion. You can't hit people like that.
Mm-mm.
That there's no cause for it. That it was a joke. Yes, it might have been a joke in bad taste. I can even, if he knew she had alopecia, that was a joke in very, very bad taste.
Yeah, you mean.
But I honestly just thought Jada Pinkett Smith shaved her head because she liked the look. Because does people forget that she was completely bald in Scream 2 when she was stabbed in Scream 2? She was as
The
bald.
bulk of her career.
She was as bald as Sinead O'Connor. So the fact that she was bald in 2022, I was like, okay, that's the style that Jada likes to rock.
Yeah, she's been rocking it for 25 years. Like,
But you got up and you punched him, and nobody did anything about it.
no.
Nobody removed him from the Oscars.
No, buddy, he was just scoot boogieing at the after party, too.
Well, here is Chris Rock right after the slap, and Will Smith screamed at him to get his wife's name out of his mouth. This is how Chris Rock reacted right after the slap. You have to hand it to him because he didn't miss a beat. You can tell he was visibly shaken, even in his voice,
Yeah.
because he had to be embarrassed.
Somebody just smacked
Just
him.
smacked you.
Yeah.
When he said, "Oh, I could," wow. He was about to say another joke. He
Yeah.
probably was about to say, "Wow, Will Smith is that mad in March. Imagine him in August."
Oh.
You could tell he was a little shaken.
Well,
But
yeah.
but my God, right after you just got slapped, you were just screamed at. That had never been done on television,
No.
especially at the Academy Awards, the biggest stage
Uh-huh.
in show business.
Mhm.
Will knows that. The
Uh-huh.
Oscars is a place that is on ABC,
Yep.
American Broadcasting Company. It is watched by 10 million people, or 10 million people at any given moment.
Yes.
And it's the biggest stage in the field of show business for Hollywood actors.
Well, that's the pinnacle that everyone in the entertainment industry tries to reach.
And you got on stage and slapped him. He had to have blacked out, Will Smith. He had to have, because he's a smart man. He's a smart dude. He has to have known better.
Yeah.
Is his marriage to Jada that toxic that she can give him a look and it puts so much fear in him of, oh no, I'm going to have a bad car ride home, that he chose to give up everything he ever worked for to go up and slap another man live on television?
I mean, the only thing I can say to that is, I think any time that you have to exude any type of physical violence, obviously, irregardless of your situation, something ain't working. Something's not working right in your life.
And screaming like that. Amber, I've been on that stage. I've stood on that very stage at the Dolby Theater.
You have, I was there.
You know I have.
I know
And
it.
that is not a small room.
Not at all.
The Oscars, it's a very loud room. You could hear a pin drop.
Oh, yeah.
And he was screaming. So at that time when Will was sitting there screaming, do you think he thought in that moment, oh, I've messed up?
I think he probably was thinking, ooh, this is the biggest hit I'm going to ever have in my career.
Yeah.
And didn't even realize it was going to be Chris Rock.
Do you think that maybe he was changing his mind as he was walking up to Chris Rock and then just was thinking, well, I've come this far. I don't want to make myself look stupid. Let me go ahead and hit him.
Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have put myself in situations before where I'm like, look, just turn around and go home, but I didn't, and I went on through, and I've screamed just like he did. I think that you just kind of get to a breaking point, you know, in certain situations, and we literally just seen a man crumble. I think that was, you know, the saddest part of all of it. Not that he killed, you know, this wonderful award program that some of us really still enjoyed watching. He, you know, kind of broke himself there.
The Academy said that they asked him to leave, but he refused. I don't believe that.
No.
I don't believe that the Academy asked him to leave. Quit lying. Because how can you refuse if the Academy tells you to leave? Just have him arrested. Security, have him escorted. I don't care who you... He's not really the same guy from I Am Legend.
No.
He's not the Men in Black. He's an actor. He's obviously not anything like he plays on television, or he's not anything like he portrays on social media, because Will Smith's Mr. Positivity, Mr. Love, Mr. Love.
Well, the only thing he loved that night was just smacking around Chris Rock.
Jada Pinkett and Will Smith have a toxic relationship. They're not good for each other. Not
at all. But, I mean, look how long they've been together. You know, I think even his son, what did his son get on there and say after, you know, and that's how it's done. So, obviously, you know, you see that it's a commonality in their family that physical violence must be okay.
Well, Will laughed at the joke at first. You can go back and watch the video. He laughed. And then it was Jada who was irritated at the joke, which I can understand, be irritated at the joke. But Will, in a matter of seconds, 1 or 2 seconds, he just saw the expression on her face, and it was just an expression, because Jada didn't have time to say, Will, go up there and punch him, or I'm having another entanglement. She didn't say that. It was just...
She did with that one look.
With that one look.
But how, exactly what
how
she
toxic
said.
is, and how dangerous is that he risked it all.
And that's what I don't understand. It's like, I don't see, I mean, Jada, you profit off of him being Mr. Positivity. You live this life off of this man's back. I'm going to say it like that. Yes, she has her own thing, does her own thing, but we know who the money comes from. Why would you let him get up there and risk that cash cow that you've been cashing in on for a long time now?
I love Amy Schumer. She hosted the Oscars, and after the Will Smith slap happened, it was very just tight in the room. The tension you could cut with a knife. And she gets out and she goes, I just got out of that Spider-Man costume. Did I miss anything while I was backstage? It was so funny.
No.
But a lot of people are very disturbed. Jim Carrey said that Hollywood was spineless. The fact that people stood up and gave him a standing ovation was just... It blew my mind, too. I'm like, this is a guy who just hit somebody. Like, really?
And he was, you know, doing the Cupid Shuffle, you know, 2 hours later, drinking free champagne.
Chris Rock's tickets, by the way, for his tour are out the roof now. They went from $40 to $400 a piece.
Well, he'll ride this on home.
I don't blame him. At least he's benefiting from it. And I always like Will Smith. I like his movies. I like the message that he had. But will you cross the line? Now, I know that you are a work in progress, but it was your behavior literally after you did it that I'm questioning. You were up dancing to getting jiggy with it, like nothing ever happened, and you sat back down and was laughing, like his big boisterous laugh after everything somebody says. I'm like, dude, are you that emotionally unstable?
Yes.
And then you get up and you win the Oscar and you bawling like a baby. That's got bipolar written all over it.
Let me tell you what I'd have done if that would have been my man. I'd have been like, honey, we gonna have to leave, and they can just send you a award to the house.
Exactly. But this is the first time we've ever talked about the Oscars and not even had to go over the awards. We know Will Smith won for Best Actor for his role in King Richard. But if you want to look at the complete list of winners, you can go to Off the Cuff's Facebook page at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, and you can look at the complete list of the winners. But man, what an Oscars.
It was a good one.
It was a good one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we still got lots more Off the Cuff coming at you live after these words. Stick with us.
From Growing Old Together, and you are listening to Radio Lex, the voice of the people, WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
我们的社区受到 COVID-19 新冠病毒的重创，保护自己和家人的最佳方式是接种安全有效的 COVID-19 新冠病毒疫苗。如果你已经接种了 COVID-19 新冠病毒疫苗，请务必接种加强剂。如需了解您附近的疫苗接种地点，请访问网站 radiolex.us。此信息的发布得到肯塔基州健康计划协会的支持。
Hi, my name is Kelly Clore from Leadership Lexington Youth. You are listening to Radio Lex, the voice of the people, WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
Radio Lex has the support of TaylorMade Decorative Concrete and Epoxy. TaylorMadeDCE.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Amber Turner in the studio with me. That is the Maury Povich theme. If you watched Maury back in the 90s, I'm sure he had evolving themes.
Yes.
But the Maury Povich Show has been around for 31 years. As a matter of fact, it was established in 1991, and as of September of this year, Maury Povich will air its last show. So, after 31 years, Maury Povich is retiring from the Maury Povich Show.
Who's going to do DNA tests now?
It's a whole new market for people. It's a whole new market. I mean, Maury, I hate that his show is known for you are the father or you are not the father. Don't get me wrong. He had some awesome shows with the paternity test, but that's not Maury's greatest moments.
No.
Maury's greatest shows was the shows where he had. Do you remember when he would have the bad kids on his show?
Oh, the boot camp, the Maury boot camp.
I have a clip here
Oh,
of
geez.
this is a clip of one of the kids or it was a show about kids out of control.
Yeah.
And remember when the kids were out of control, they would always come out in the audience and they would hold up their middle finger and they would,
Oh, and everybody's booing.
everybody's booing him. And I'm like, this kid's like 9 and you're booing him like a wrestler.
Yeah.
Listen at some of this. Well, there you go.
Wow.
There you go.
Look.
I mean, he's mean. So this is after that's his little promo before he comes out. Now,
Yeah.
now he's getting ready to come out and face the audience.
Oh my! It's like he's walking out for his kindergarten graduation.
Here's another one. Now hold it now. This is a little 7-year-old girl coming
Yeah.
out defending herself. Sounded
Yeah.
like a 40-year-old woman. I don't care what you say. These are my
These
clothes.
are my sexy clothes.
You're 7. Okay.
Oh, buddy, she never went to Beaver because she wouldn't have made it with them short shorts there.
No. But those were the best shows, was when he would do shows like that, Out of Control Teens. Maury also had some other great shows. Do you remember when Maury would do the Phobias?
Oh my God!
When guests would come on and they would be terrified and extremely afraid of a really just bizarre thing like cheese
Olives
or cotton balls.
Oh goodness!
Olives, yes. The olive one is what got me. Is when
Yeah.
the woman was scared of olives. As a matter of fact, let's take a listen to that clip now. First of all, is Maury that mean where he was like, bring out the olives?
Bring out the olives.
But what was hilarious was she was grasping for dear life onto his arm, and he's like, you won't let go of me. And I think she was hurting him, so he knew the only way to make her let go was to say, bring out the olives.
Oh my goodness.
And they would run backstage, and all it is just a can of olives.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Maury flat out pulls out a picture of a lizard. Listen, now that Maury is gone, I have to have a show like this, Amber.
Yes.
I've got to have a show like this.
We need to find people who are afraid of olives and got a death grip.
NBC Universal says that they will still be showing reruns for the next couple of years. And I hope that they show these older episodes, the episodes of I used to be hot, but now, or I used to not be hot.
Yeah, I used to be a naughty, now I'm a hottie. I love those.
Or the people with the big fears, or the people the out of control kids. Those are the best ones.
Oh, yes.
And
oh, my goodness.
It was overshadowed by the paternity test. Now, don't get me wrong, the paternity tests are fun, but I think that the older episodes of Maury are slept on.
Well, I think it's just because, with those DNA paternity ones, we had acrobatics and, we had people out there just running and jumping and hooping and hollering, made for a little more entertainment, but the other ones, oof.
The last original episodes of Maury are set for broadcast in September after 31 years on the air.
I wonder if they're filming right now.
I'm sure he is. I don't know if they've already completed the.
Well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm
filming.
gonna sit over here and try to see if we can't get free tickets.
Get tickets. I mean, you better, because I think Maury, Amber, is now the last of the talk show hosts.
Well, I guess that means we're gonna have to put you in the speed round.
I mean, isn't he? Isn't he the last one of that kind of daytime talk show host?
Well, I mean, doesn't Jerry have a show? I mean, I know he's not doing the same thing, but I think he's got a show where he's a judge.
He does, but it's not the same format. It's. I think that Maury Povich is the last of that format.
Oh,
with the
that's
microphone
sad.
and the card and the walking around the audience.
That's sad.
Tamara Hall is kind of doing that.
Yeah.
But she's not nowhere near. She's not as scandalous as Sally and Maury and Ricky and Jerry all were.
You gotta have a finesse to be a good talk show host.
Well, and you're good, Maury, when you are the age you are. As a matter of fact, he is 83.
Oh my word!
And he has an audience of people ranging from 18 to 35. His audience is teenagers. It's college students.
Oh, well.
An 80-year-old man.
Is he really that old?
Yeah.
So that means he was like in his, late 50s, 60s when we were watching him.
When he started, because before he got to host the Maury Povich show, he was the main anchor for Inside Edition.
Okay.
It was either Inside Edition or Current Affair. It was one of those. I think it was Inside Edition.
Yeah.
And he was the main anchor, and he was so good and so likable that he got his own show, and he became what it was.
Then here it is, 30 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
But Maury Povich is saying goodbye, so if you see him on, watch it, because it might be the last time that you see new episodes of the Maury Povich Show. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to take another break. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Hey y'all, I'm Lily Rochelle with Prevent Child Abuse Kentucky, and you're listening to Radio Lex, the voice of the people. WLXU 93.9 FM in Lexington.
Did you know 1 out of every 4 traffic fatalities in the United States is a result of speeding? Hi, this is State Farm Agent Phil McDonald reminding you to be a good neighbor. Take it easy, slow down, and get to where you're going safely.
Every donation to Radio Lex makes a difference. Many of our donors tell us they wish they could give more. If you're looking to get rid of a vehicle but don't want the hassle of selling it or fixing it, consider donating it to Radio Lex. Donating your car is a fast, safe, and easy way to support the programming you value. Make a difference by donating your unwanted vehicle. Just go to radiolex.us/car.
Radio Lex has the support of vinyl sponsor Raymond Daniels and Equity Solutions Group. ESG Consulting, LLC.com. Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Amber is also in studio with me. Another living legend is calling it quits. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, better known as Triple H, announced this past week on ESPN's Stephen A. Smith show that he is retiring from in-ring wrestling. Triple H not only is in my top 5 performers of all time, 2 of his matches are in the top 5 matches of all time.
Yes.
For me personally. Those matches that I'm talking about, one is the Royal Rumble 2000.
Oh my goodness.
With Cactus Jack.
Yes.
And the other one is No Way Out the very next month against Cactus Jack.
Again.
So that actually means that Mick Foley might be in 3 or 4 of my top 5 greatest matches. But anyway, we're here to talk about Triple H, who isn't going away from the industry. We all know that he married the boss's daughter, Stephanie, and he is the executive vice president of talent relations. But he is a legend in his own right. He is some call the greatest of all time.
Oh, you know I do.
Some people, and that's a good argument.
Mm-hmm.
You can make an argument.
Absolutely.
I hate it when people like to say that Triple H was only successful because he married the boss's daughter.
Oh, no, the boss's daughter wasn't there, when he had, a big 2x4 stuck halfway through his leg. Didn't see her around.
Well, those matches that I said was my favorite matches, him and Stephanie worked together on screen as a couple, but it was not. They were not publicly dating.
No.
And if they were, Vince McMahon didn't know about it.
No.
So he was still an amazing performer. He's only 52 years old. That's usually about the expiration date for a wrestler, is in their 50s.
No, I'd say that's expiration date, especially people who have worked this long in a particular field to retire,
Real name is Paul Levesque. And he talked about his condition on the Stephen A. Smith show. He says, as far as in-ring, which I get asked about a lot, I'm done. I will never wrestle again. He said, first of all, I have a defibrillator in my chest, so that's probably not a good idea for me to have to get zapped on live TV. So his condition has deteriorated over the last couple of months, and it has to do with his heart. And the doctors told him that he has a blockage in his left anterior descending artery known as the Widowmaker.
Ooh.
And that's when reality set in for him. He said that because of his condition, if he does extreme performing like in-ring wrestling, he could die of a massive, massive heart attack.
Oh yes, like many, of his fellow athletes have.
But what a career he had. He debuted in WCW in 1994, and he eventually jumped to Vince McMahon's promotion, the WWF, known at the time, in 1995, debuting as Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He was a snobby, almost
proper
colonial character.
Yeah, he was. He was a colonial.
Yeah, and he was very snobby. He was just a snob.
Yeah.
And he went to WWF for less money because he knew that there was more opportunity with that promotion versus the WCW. And boy, was he ever correct, because Triple H made a name for himself. He eventually kicked that snob gimmick to the curb, and he became a founding member of D-Generation X.
Yep.
And he not only became a founding member of D-Generation X, after Shawn Michaels left, he became the leader of DX and started the DX Army.
Yep.
And some people say that DX was better than the original DX.
Now, that one's my favorite out of the two.
So he had such a huge career, and then after DX, he put that gimmick to the side, and he became the Game.
Ooh.
He became the cerebral assassin. And with that character is when he really became a legend in his own right.
Absolutely.
Because he was the Game.
The Game ender.
He was the Game, and he was believable.
Yes.
He was the epitome of a heel. Everybody hated him, which means he's doing a great job.
Yep.
I hated Triple H when I used to watch him, but looking back on it, I'm like, man, that guy was so good. He did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Yes.
Some of his best matches, I already said 2 of them. Another great match was against his greatest rival of all time, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. I love the match that he had with Michaels at the SummerSlam 2002. I love that he always carried the sledgehammer with him, and he just had that gimmick, Amber. What's your favorite Triple H match?
Oh my gosh, it's going to be Royal Rumble 2000. There's something about that. If I'm having a bad day, I'm going to turn that on. But, I think what gets me, and it's something that you and I talk about. I think the reason why he's my favorite is he has passion.
Yeah.
He's always had a passion. Just like you said, he came and he took less money, which I didn't know that was for real, that he took less money. But, he came there, and then, everything happened with the curtain call, and he got, kind of shoved to the main bottom of the barrel, and he stayed. He stuck it out because he had a passion. He wanted to perform, and I think it just kind of came through. And as much as I hate to see him leaving, I know he'll be around. But
he dated Chyna, the legend who passed away back in 2016, and he got into a lot of controversy when he was dating her, because it was while dating her he fell in love with Vince McMahon's daughter, and they started working together on screen. Life imitates art.
Always.
And not always.
Not always?
Not always, but it's true what they say. Life does imitate art. And more so than not.
Yeah.
And he fell in love with his on-screen wife, and he cheated on Chyna, and then he married Stephanie eventually in 2003. They have girls now. They have a family. But I hate that, even though that is a part of his story, I don't think people will hold that against him, even though people do, and they say, oh, he's only famous and successful because of that.
Well, those are people who don't really watch wrestling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You cannot ignore. I don't care. He still went out there and had matches that were unbelievable.
Yeah.
Married to the boss's daughter or not, you can be married to the boss's daughter and be given the main event, but you're not still going to be given. You don't all of a sudden have a pizzazz about you.
Well, just because you're married to the boss's daughter don't mean there's going to be like a bed of feathers that's going to catch you every time you take a bump, or, you know, they hit you with kid gloves. No, these men were still coming at him, and he was putting out great performances.
I remember when he tore his quad.
My God.
He tore his quad in the ring. You could literally see his quad roll up his leg. And he finished the match.
And not only did he finish, but he actually did his finishing move, which was the pedigree, which requires him to fall down on his knees.
And it made him have to go through surgery, go through rehab, and he was out of the game for 9 months. And he returned in January of 2002, and it was one of the loudest ovations I've ever heard in the wrestling industry. I've got maybe a top 3 list of some of my loudest ovations. I'm about to play the clip of Triple H returning to the ring after that 9-month absence of being injured. And Triple H, if this reaction didn't tell you, because this was already after he fell in love with the boss's daughter, this was already after he was already well known with Stephanie. If this doesn't tell you that people respect you, listen to how happy people were to hear Triple H. Because Triple H was a heel. When he left the company, he was a heel. He was a bad guy. And then when he returned, this is the ovation he got. Now, I want you to realize something, that you don't hear hardly his music because the fans are cheering so loud, but the announcers, Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler, Jim Ross said in his podcast he made a conscious decision in that moment to be silent, because you're not supposed to be silent on the mic. You're supposed to talk through people's entrances so people won't turn the channel. But he said that Jerry, when the music started, Jerry was talking like, JR, look at this. JR said he reached over and he grabbed Jerry's arm and he squeezed it. And that was a sign. And he said Jerry picked up on it. He said, don't say nothing. He said, let's sit with the crowd and just follow my lead. So it's a good 60 seconds before JR even says anything. At this point, it's been 38 seconds. JR, the announcer, hasn't said anything. Don't that bring chills on you?
Oh my goodness.
Every wrestling fan probably got chills. But Triple H's in-ring action is over. He will remain in his executive role as the Vice President of Talent Relations. He's already excelled in that role, creating the Next Development, which is a WWE development company. And he's probably got a good eye for talent because he's such a good talent.
Oh, well, I mean, it takes one to know one, I guess.
His final match came just over a year ago against Randy Orton, so a good wrestler to go out to. He's not going to get to build his last match.
No.
But that's what sucks about it. We won't get to see his last match as a build last match, but you can go back and watch his last match because it was the last match he ever did. But yes, the game Triple H is retiring.
That's sad, but at least we know we're going to keep him around a little bit longer.
It is. But really quick, just some Triple H accomplishments. 14-time WWE champion, 5-time Intercontinental champion, 3-time WWE Tag Champion, 3 times with Stone Cold Steve Austin when those two were the two-man power trip. Shawn Michaels, 2-time tag team champion with him. He was a 2-time European champion, Triple Crown champion, a Grand Slam champion, a King of the Ring in 1997, won the Royal Rumble in 2002 and 2016, WWE Hall of Fame class of 2019, a 3-time Slammy Award winner for Best Hair, Moment of the Year, and Match of the Year.
Best hair, really.
That was back in 1997 when they was doing stuff like that. So, Triple H, man, I'm glad that we're talking about a wrestler that retired instead of talking about a wrestler that died.
Amen.
So, I will talk about wrestlers retiring all day.
Absolutely.
And be in a good mood about it. But, ladies and gentlemen, you should be in a good mood too, because it's another beautiful day to be alive. So, roll down them windows and enjoy White Flag. We're going to slow it down a little bit with Dido. Amber, some people will call this our song.
This is our song.
So enjoy it.
Boom.
I know you think that I shouldn't still love you. I'll tell you that. But if I didn't say it, well, I still have felt it. Where's the sense in that? I promise I'm not trying to make your life harder. I'll return to where we were. But I will go down with this shit. And I won't put my hands up and surrender. There will be no white flag above my door. I'm in love and always will be. I know I left too much mess and destruction to come back again.
I'm sure Dido will kick us off.
Fox News just signed Caitlyn Jenner as a contributing commentary.
It still cut me off.
Did it?
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't know.
You can't even hear them. Can't get more tickets anymore. Mm-mm. I've literally pressed every date. So you have to select when you want them. Okay.
And I won't put my hands up.
The show thread is not working today, so we're not able to receive any comments. And I was looking forward to reading the show thread because I was assuming that there would be a ton of Will Smith comments. But a lot of people have chimed in with their thoughts on the Will Smith situation. And Mick Foley said, I bet Will Smith wouldn't have hit The Rock if it was The Rock standing on the stage.
What was it somebody said about him? He sold that list, that Chris Rock sold that list that Billy Gunn did when it was a non-live taping show.
But it's also another thing. I bet you Will wouldn't have done that if it would have been 50 Cent.
No, not Big Daddy 50.
No, because it was Chris Rock, who's 5'8", 140 pounds soaking wet.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to be a bully.
Well, it is. It's very easy to be a bully, but I really think that out of all this, I really hope that Chris Rock gets the nod that he deserves, because he took it like a man. That is a true definition of a man. He put up with nonsense and still did his job.
Chris Rock will come out of this a better person.
Mm-hmm.
He'll come out of this with a better career.
Oh, I hope so.
It's already evident with his ticket sales.
Uh-huh.
So
maybe we should get Chris Rock tickets.
Hey, I would have loved to have gotten smacked by Will Smith at the Oscars, because everybody would be talking about Adam Banks and how well he handled it. And also, let's give it to Chris Rock for not touching his face one time.
Not one time.
I don't know if you've ever been smacked before.
It hurts.
But it hurts. There's a lot of nerve endings in your face.
Uh-huh.
It hurts. So the fact that he didn't even touch his face once, because he wanted to.
Oh, I would have broke my hand off where I touched my face.
Exactly.
I broke every finger I had.
He no-sold it at all.
No.
He sold that like it didn't even hurt. All he said was, "Wow, dude."
He thought he got hit by Casper.
Good. It was good. I loved it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stick with us. We still have one more segment to go. We'll be right back.
Nuestra comunidad ha sido duramente golpeada por el COVID-19. Hay mucha mala información en las redes sociales y la televisión sobre la vacuna COVID-19.
I know it. And I had like 2 more topics to talk about, but guess we'll talk about Mania.
I didn't know.
Escucha recursos confiables como los del CDC y nuestro Departamento de Salud local. Vacunarse es la mejor manera de prevenir contraer COVID-19. Si ya ha sido vacunado, no olvide obtener un refuerzo. Visite radiolex.us para encontrar lugares de vacunación cerca de usted. Este mensaje fue posible gracias al apoyo de la Asociación de Planes de Salud de Kentucky.
Did you know 1 out of every 4 traffic fatalities in the United States is a result of speeding? Hi, this is State Farm Agent Phil McDonald, reminding you to be a good neighbor. Take it easy, slow down, and get to where you're going safely.
Radio Lex has the support of CD sponsor Bethany Hicks, State Farm Agent. BethanyHicks.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Amber is also in studio with me. Last segment of the hour. Wild Wild West was not a good movie, but that's a great song.
And 20 years ago, let me tell you what we were doing 20 years ago.
We?
You were watching me just shake myself all over the Beaver Creek Elementary floor to this, because we did a dance routine. Or, I'm sorry, a cheerleading routine to this. And I think you was playing. You was there.
This was the hot song at the time.
Yeah. Oh, it was hot, because I was in there just all over that floor, sweating.
Well, WrestleMania 38 is this weekend. It is the Super Bowl of wrestling. It's a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. That's too long.
It's too much.
It's too bad of a product. Wrestling is too bad of a product to be 2 days now.
Well, and even back in the prime, wouldn't it just like a 1 day like full event, and then it was like another day for like if you paid for the VIP and all that?
Well, WrestleMania has always been a weekend for the fans. It's the Comic-Con for wrestling, to go and see fans, meet wrestlers. But as far as airing WrestleMania on TV, it was just a 3-hour show, just like the rest of them,
which was perfect.
And in the prime, when it was really good, and they could have had 5 or 6 hours of show, they still only kept it at 3 hours because 3 hours is enough of anything.
Yes.
They had this event 2 days, and each day is like 7-8 hours apiece.
That's too much.
So the first night, Saturday, you're going to see a women's main event. Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Wow, that's going to put some butts in the seat.
Well, tell me how you really feel on that one. That's a bad lineup for your main event, and I'm not even going to lie about that.
On Sunday, well, that's supposed to be the match. Stone Cold Steve Austin is supposed to be there on Sunday or on Saturday as well, and he's supposed to do an interview segment with who? What's the guy?
Oh, they're not going to actually have a match.
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens?
Yeah, they're not going to have a match. It's just an interview segment.
Oh. Well, then I don't want to watch that.
I know, because I love Stone Cold, but I don't feel like Austin brings the heat like he used to. Austin used to be just mad at the world.
Yeah, he just come out there and whoop you.
He's too happy now.
Yeah.
He's too smiley and too giddy, and he's not the same Stone Cold as of old. But I do love Stone Cold, and I'll probably tune in just to see that. But they might close out the Saturday event with Stone Cold talking, and then on Sunday, the main event's going to be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, and it's a winner-take-all match because the Brock Lesnar is the WWE champion, Roman Reigns is the Universal champion, and the winner of this, they are going to unify the belts. So now they're just going to have one champion, which I think that's a good move for the business. I never liked the fact that the wrestling business, well, the WWE at least, had 2 world champions.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
That makes no sense to me. So I am glad to see that they are going to unify the championship finally. Best matches of WrestleMania of all time, I would have to say Hardy Boys versus the Dudley Boys versus Edge and Christian.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 17, tables, ladders, and chairs.
Oh my.
Definitely Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, WrestleMania 13. Hulk Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. One of the most shocking WrestleMania moments ever. Triple H turning on DX and joining the corporation. Vince McMahon teaming with Stone Cold Steve Austin and becoming partners at WrestleMania when Stone Cold turned heel. And then maybe the biggest shock in WrestleMania history was when Brock Lesnar snapped The Undertaker's 21-win record at WrestleMania. He had a winning streak of 21 wins, and Brock Lesnar, the newbie, went in there and snapped it.
I don't know if I'm going to say too much about Brock Lesnar. I feel like he's got all kinds of reasons to not like off the cuff, so I'm just going to say good luck, Brock.
All right.
Good luck, Brock.
But WrestleMania will be this Sunday, folks. Just keep in mind that the Final Four has been set as well, so that's this weekend. I'll be covering that next Wednesday on the March Madness series, and it will be exciting to see the result of the Final Four. You can keep track of the Off the Cuff Bracket Challenge by going to Off the Cuff with Adam Banks' Facebook page. My mom is in first place right now.
I love it. I love it.
And that's funny.
I don't even think I have anybody that's still even left in. Do you?
No.
Oh, man.
No, that's how bad it is. But ladies and gentlemen, that about wraps it up for another episode of Off the Cuff. I want to thank everybody for listening. You can check out all of our previous episodes by subscribing to the show on podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. You can follow the show on social media at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. You can follow the co-host on social media at Ambu447. You can follow me, the host, on social media at The Adam Banks. We release new episodes every Thursday from 4 to 5 right here on WLXU 93.9 FM, which means we will be back next week from 4 to 5. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Ember Turner. I'm Adam Banks, and this is Off the Cuff. We'll catch you down the road.